We are here to talk Arsenal. We're here to talk the Brentford game. We're here to talk about the City pressure that there could be, but there is nowhere else to start other than the sacking of Thomas Frank. I, for one, thought he was doing an exceptional job, and I'm very sad today. It does sound like Zerbi is the favourite to be taking Tottenham over. North London derby could be a new manager bounce. Where have we heard that before? Michael Carrick. We've even got Wigan this weekend with a new manager bounce, and now we're going to have De Zerbi with a new manager bounce. It seems. It might not be De Zerbi. Maybe it'll be another manager. But make sure you do me a favour, people. I'm here with Russ and with Kenny. There's no Chris Hudson today. He's busy, so big up to Chris. He'll be back next week. And we're going to talk Arsenal. Make sure you do me a favour. Hit like, hit subscribe. Make sure you're following okjersey.com. We've got the code 12MAN that you will need to use to get 8% off. Down the bottom there, you will see it. Click on the link in the description or a pinned message in the live chat, and you will get any kit that you want with any name and number on the back. The World Cup shirts are now out as well. Russ, how are we?
Yeah, recovering from my cold, mate. Just have got a bit of a nasal thing going up here, but I'm feeling a lot better now.
Good, man. Mate, at least your voice is back. Last week, oh my God, I could hardly hear you. So big up to you, man. Kenny Ken back in the house. I know we had you on last night, but there was an absolutely mental panel. So wanted to get more of a one-to-one with you this morning. How'd you feel, bruv?
I feel really good. You know, we got a massive game in the Premiership tomorrow at GSAT Stadium. They're playing good football at the moment, Brentford, but they haven't played us. That's my theme of the day. Every time you play a side, they say, look, they're going through good bit of form. They've won 6 games in a row, and I always say, well, they haven't played Arsenal yet.
Yeah,
and that's got me theme of the day. But yeah, obviously there's massive news. But as you know, Gunner's a Gunner to both of you. Arsenal's biggest rivals have always been themselves.
Yeah.
I agree. We've got to concentrate on what we do. And we will get to that. Let's talk on Thomas Frank first, because it is the breaking news. He has gone. I am not shocked one bit. I watched that game last night. Do you know what? For midweek game week, that was 2 minutes away from being an unbelievably good night. Chelsea 2-0 up. They throw their lead away to Leeds. Manchester United, last kick of the game, Sesko, superb quality finish, by the way, to equalise at West Ham, to send them shattered. And then, of course, Tottenham Hotspur getting beat. And it did look at one stage like everything was going to fall in place for Tottenham Hotspur to get relegated. For me, I've got to say how it is. West Ham, I think, went down last night. I've got to be honest, that Sesko goal has sent them down. I don't see them recovering now. I think they needed to win that game and have Tottenham lose. I don't think a draw is good enough for them. I know people will say they still gained a point, but I don't think they have. Now that Frank's gone, I expect Tottenham will start to pick up points here and there and pull away from the relegation zone. Not massively. I expect them to finish in the bottom half, but I don't think they'll come close to getting relegated because Frank was that bad. But Russ, let's start with you. What did you make of last night, and what did you make of the sacking of Thomas Frank, bruv?
People saying that Frank was that bad, but Tottenham were 17th last year? They weren't pulling up trees last year, was they? Fluked the Europa League final because they played one of the worst Man United sides I can remember, and people were expecting them to do what? I don't know exactly what they were expecting them to do. They didn't recruit, did they? They didn't recruit anything of substance, and at home, I think they're probably one of the poorest sides to watch. They create very little chances. They defend awful, and their midfield is shoddy. So I don't know what people expect a manager in 6-7 months to do to try and turn that around. Their problems lie deeper within their club, not a manager. You can't keep blaming managers. They've had some really, really good managers down there over the last 7 or 8 years. And they've all come to the same conclusion. The playing staff's not good enough. The recruitment's shoddy and poor. And the club lack ambition, which is, that's the bottom line. And they've got Vinay Venkatesan running the show as a chief exec, I believe, which he was absolutely... No one even knew what he did at Arsenal. That was the best thing we ever did, getting rid of him. So, I don't know. All this sacking managers, it just drives me mental. When there's other underlying things wrong at the club. And my little thought on it all is I honestly believe this, not just because it's Arsenal, and every time we're approaching a game with a dodgy manager, they sack him. It seems to be within 2 games of Arsenal playing aside in the Premier League, they sack the manager, expecting something miraculous to happen. That aside, I really don't think managers should be sacked in a season, inside a season. Once you've made your bed, you should have to lie on it, because it's just a massive excuse for the board, owners, and hierarchy of a football club to blame him when it's not always his fault. Sometimes the playing style can be his fault. It can be his fault. But the overarching thing is the quality of the playing staff is not down to these coaches now. They're not managers. They're coaches. There's football directors. There's head of recruitments. There's all sorts of people above them who are responsible. And they're the ones who should be getting the sack, not a bloke like Frank. And it's not just Frank, it's any manager at any football club now. He's not really a manager. They're not really managers because of sporting directors and there's heads of recruitment. So I believe that if you sign this is my personal opinion, I believe that football managers should be given 2-year contracts maximum, right? And they should see out the whole contract. You make your bed, you have to lie on it for 2 years. You've got to give these people 2 years. It's ridiculous. The amount of compo that's being paid out and just to protect the hierarchy at football clubs is shocking. And it's all our money. It's all football fans' money that's been wasted. Let's be honest.
Yeah, look, Russ, you make some good points about managers getting time and not giving them time. And I think the biggest point you made, which I agree with, which I think Frank's been horrific, by the way. However, I do think that there's a lot more going wrong at Tottenham, because I'll put this to you, Kenny, right? I had a laugh this morning when it happened, and a few of the people in the group chat said, the Zerbi might go there. I can see that one ended in tears. I said, well, they all end in tears at Tottenham. Whether it's Conte, whether it's Jose Mourinho, whether it was George Graham or Juan de Ramos that won us trophies, Andrew won them trophies, Villas-Boas, you've got Nuno, you've got Poch, you've got Frank now. They have tried everything, Tottenham. They've tried the project manager in Poch. They've tried the system manager in Nuno. They've tried the win now manager in Conte, the experience of Mourinho. They've tried managers like Harry Redknapp. I don't think there's anywhere else for them to go right now. They've tried everything. They're just Spurs, Kenny. And what do you make of it all? He's been sacked. I think he's probably deserved to be sacked in this day and age. I agree with what Russ is saying. However, I don't think he's been good. I think he has made them worse. And if I'm honest with you, I don't know what to expect now if a De Zerbi was to come in, Kenny.
Well, the thing about it is, as you guys well know, I do a lot of stuff with Spurs channels. I'll get on really, really well. And with Chris Callan, we talk a lot, and I do stuff for him as well. And me and him thrashed this out, and I thrashed out with some Spurs fans, who are friends of mine. Like, I was out for dinner after the Arsenal game, and it was a Roman pub in Crouch End, half Tottenham on the table and half Arsenal, because as you know, Crouch End, even though it's in Arrogate, it's just as much Arsenal as Tottenham. And they were saying that we were having the same sort of discussions. And my thing with Spurs is that it's always make the same mistakes and expect a different outcome. And that's the crux of the situation at Spurs. For a start, Frank's got multiple injuries. He's inherited a club where they've got injuries. No Kulusevski. Madison's, got problems with his knees. Solanke's out for a while. Romero's just got no discipline whatsoever. I think he's trying to, force through a move at the end of the season. They've had problems with Van der Ven, but he's fit. And it's one of the things, if you take out a lot of the quality of the side, and again, Bentancur who's always injured, that's going to affect results. However, you have a clear playing style. I don't think Frank has that. He's like a safety-first manager, and basically the player's not buying into what he does. You can't have a situation where you're playing your home games and you only start playing when you're 2-0 down or when you goal down. That's not sustainable, for Spurs, and that's what the thing. But the problem with Spurs is that they haven't recovered from not winning the Champions League final and the breakup of that great side. And it was a good side because it's better than us. The team where they had Kane, Ali, Olivero, Vertonghen, Danny Rose, Walker, Trippier, and those kind of like players, and Ericsson as well. That was a superb side. it was a robust team, and all it needed was Darian Levy to put his hand in his pocket and just get an elite player in, and then kind of change it up. But what he did is he kept these players. These players started getting sold for more money, and the situations is never good again. And then when the Poch started getting bad results, they sacked him, and it's never really recovered since then. Yeah, they got the top four, a few seasons after lockdown when they picked us. But, losing Kane, losing Son, you're not going to recover from that. And no disrespect, Spurs are not like an Arsenal where you can attract these kind of players, where you've got some stability. They're not Liverpool. They're not a Man City where you attract the big players. Spurs are only going to attract players who use them as a stepping stone. Like, for instance, I'll do well at Spurs and I'll get my move to Man City. I'll get my move to Man United. And that's the problem with Spurs. They're a big club with a small club's mentality. They're scared of going into financial trouble. But the problem is that the only way to solve this is new owners. Get someone from China, get someone from like Saudi Arabia, get anyone in who's basically got big pockets and a winning mentality. Because I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be horrible against our country, but the guy who owns, who basically is the self-made man for Hertfordshire, cannot rescue Spurs. Levy, self-made man. Lewis, yeah, get rid of him. He's a waste of time. Get rid of his daughter. They're just charlatans. Sell the club. Get the right man in. Get her Bramwich figure, and then they'll go up. But right now, it's a new manager back next week, and who knows? It might galvanise them. It might, put a spoke up our backsides. But at the end of the day, unless they change, it's going to be the same outcome.
Look, I mean, you said a lot there. I agree with Kenny, if I'm honest with you. I feel a little bit sad, if I'm honest, because I kind of enjoyed watching Tottenham this season. But I feel like now, Russ, there's two options for Spurs. It's either Zerbi or Pochettino after the World Cup.
Yeah, before you go on, Dan, there's one big player which obviously went last year, Son.
Yeah.
He's a big player for them. He was their truly class player. I think he frightened any defence, didn't he? And I think that was the end of the beginning of the end, if you know what I mean. What was that Wolfie saying? It's a dark day for football. I see that comment come up.
It is. He had them to go down because obviously he needs Forest to stay up. He had them to go down, Wolfie. I'll be interested to know because he was basically saying from this off, Frank, he ain't good. He ain't good. And he ain't been good. Let's just say how it is. He ain't been good. I know Son would say is a miss, but
Yeah, some managers are good at being the sort of the big fish in the little pond, aren't they? And when they go to the big boys game, they just don't have the minerals or the knowledge or the respect from the players, more importantly, to take it on to the next stage. There's only a few people that do that. And they sort of glow out, don't they? Like Mourinho when he was at Porto. You could always tell he was going to be a class act. Although we hated him, he was a good manager. He probably still is a good manager. It's, as I said before, it's a hierarchy at the club. They've got to be honest with themselves, look at themselves, because you can't keep sacking managers all the time and expect a different result with the same playing staff. It's just not. There's something not right there.
Do you think, Russ, that they'll get Zerbi in now? Or do you think they'll get Interim and Johnny Heitinga, let's say, and then they'll get Poch after the World Cup?
They will probably panic and try and go for someone like Zerbi to try and get them out of the mess. But really, they really should probably be doing what United are doing and put an interim manager in and try to get to the end of the season. Because I don't think they will go down. I think there's... No. I think they will nick a win or 2 wins, and that'll probably save them. I think that'll probably be enough. But I think if they're going to look at the long term and not keep doing the same thing over and over again, much as I love it, I'd love them to carry on doing the same thing. They want to do that. They will go down the same road again and again, like we said before. It's just like a Groundhog Day with them.
Wolfie. The worst day, bruv, as a Forest fan. Thomas Frank is done. It was looking like, 30 seconds away from the perfect evening for Tottenham to go down, and then Sesko decides to ruin the fun. But, bro, how you feeling? Thomas Frank's gone, man.
I'm in mourning today, boys. I really am. This isn't the kind of news you want to wake up to. I send my condolences out to all the Spurs fans, because let's face it, he was progressing them. They were 17th last year. They're 16th currently. This is progress. I'm not sure exactly why this decision has been made. I told all the Spurs fans be happy with 16th this season. So I've cried a bit. It's just, but then realization kicks in, boys. Spurs will always be Spurs. It don't matter who the fuck's in charge. Let's be real here, right? This club is absolutely a waste of time and a waste of space. Unless news has come out today that Spurs have boarded up the doors, what's going to change? I mean, are you guys worried if it's Frank in charge for the North London derby or whoever they bring in? Do you think that's going to change the result? You're still going to smash them. And their fixtures coming up are horrible. So I still have the hope. Not as much now that Frank's gone, but I still think they could go down. Their squad isn't good enough. Frank wasn't good enough. Spurs weren't good enough. At some point, they have to take the plunge. I hope it's this year.
I'd love it to be this year.
Yeah, see, it's refreshing, Dan, isn't it? Nice to meet you, by the way, Wolfie.
Good to see you too, Russ. How are you, bud?
I enjoy your content. You make me laugh. It's just, it's refreshing to hear that from a non-Arsenal person, because obviously we've got our agendas with Tottenham, and the hatred is there for everyone to see. So when somebody else comes out and says all this, and it's not one-eyed from us, it makes my heart glow. Actually, I'm really enjoying it.
Wolfie hates Spurs as much as us, bruv. Trust me.
Yeah, my brother supports them.
That's got to be a good thing. Is it something to do with the 91 FA Cup final? Will they beat
that helps? And my brother is always a Spurs fan, so I hate it. Honestly, and I grew up in Bedford, and for some reason, in my era, everyone was a Spurs fan. It's like they weren't winning anything even then, so I didn't get why they were all Spurs fans. But they were all Spurs fans.
It's got to be in part of their inheritance, you know. It's you always worry about Spurs fans, you know, about their upbringing, and you really should call social services in if you want to make your kids Spurs fans. You really do, because Spurs fans, you know, will say it's character building, but there's character building and abuse.
Yeah,
and I think being a Spurs fan is quite abusive.
Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it, Kenny?
It is a fine line, but let's just remember one thing, right? The irony of the situation is that they could have won the Champions League 7 years ago. Liverpool always going to be the favourites. Could you imagine Liverpool, who didn't know who they were, and they won that Champions League? I don't think any of us would be podcasting there.
Well, to be fair though, Kenny, one sec. That was the worst 1 minute of our lives. Let's just say that.
Well, you say that. I say that. I suppose it softened the blow of us getting smashed by Chelsea a few days later. It was a horrible summer, but the fact is, you know, in terms of Tottenham Hotspur, they've always self-destructed. They've always, pride themselves of playing a great football. But I always say to Spurs people, you haven't played great football for nearly 40 years.
Yeah, that's a myth.
And that's the thing. We're the ones who play good football. But, when you think about it, I grew up with Spurs being part of the top. There was a big five. Spurs were in the big five. And since then, Everton's dropped out. Spurs have dropped out. But three other clubs, Liverpool, Man United and Arsenal, we've just gone on and left them all behind. Spurs should be coming up with us. Yeah. They've got everything in place. You look at when they won the Europa League. The amount of people turned out to see them get the trophy. That's a big club. Yeah. For them to just keep on, Levy. Oh God, he is. As I always say to my Spurs fans, there's two things wrong with Tottenham: Daniel and Levy.
I don't agree. I think there's one thing wrong with Spurs.
What's that?
Spurs.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like Levy's gone. Look where they are now.
Yeah, but
is it
yeah,
Levy's fault? There's something stinky about the Institute, and
yeah.
it's these delusions of grandeur that they've had ever since I was a kid. Man, heard about the famous five. Remember the famous five with Klinsmann, Anderton.
Anyway, that team, they had to sack Ozzy Ardiles.
Yeah, well, they won nothing, and they're the
Yeah.
famous five. And then if you speak to kind of Spurs fans of this era, what do they talk about? Oh, do you remember under Poch when we won nothing? How good we were when you won nothing.
Arsenal fans, we got to be like a bit humble, because it looks like we're gonna sort of like change things. But if you sort of look at us last season, we were similar to the teams of the Poch. We had the best defence, the best players here and there, but we weren't winning anything either. So obviously we've got a much better structure than that. But
they do go back to that era a bit too much, though, Kenny. Right? Let me give you an example. One of their players they used to love when I was growing up with Jurgen Klinsmann. What a legend he is at Tottenham. The guy made 41 appearances and then come back on loan 15 times. How is that a legend of a guy?
He came back to save them from relegation pots. He saved them from relegation.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why he's a legend.
Yeah, that is it.
That's right. The thing is, boys, if you look at it, when they've been close to going down, there was the odd player that saved them. Do you remember when they had Ginola and they were a one-man team?
Yeah, that's right.
And he saved them. They don't have that this season. Are you going to tell me Romero's going to be the guy who carries Spurs on their back?
Well, he's in having an early bath, isn't he? He had an early bath at Old Trafford. He was in the stands, trying to cover his face. So he's not going to help them from the bench, is he?
Oh, I just would love him to go this season.
I love him to go down, but Wolfie, I think West Ham are gone, man. Last night, I think they're gone, man. I think you'll be all right. You've got to beat Wolves tonight, by the way. But I really feel like West Ham that's a sucker punch, man. They have played better. They've won in 4 and 6, whatever the hell it is.
Hey, talking about Forest, your owner, man. I don't know whether he's a genius or just mad.
That's my guy.
Both, I think. You got to be a genius to be where you are, but he's also a madman. Wolfie, admit that.
Well, the line between genius and insanity is very thin, Kenny. It's sometimes he steps on one side, sometimes he steps on the other.
You know you're going to get with him, though, don't you? You know he wears his heart on his sleeve.
Exactly.
And you know that he wants to win. That's why famous time when he came on the pitch and basically sacked Nuno on the pitch, really.
That was brilliant. But the best one was when he actually personally went on the Nottingham Forest's Twitter page, a website, and personally wrote what he actually felt. And I thought, this guy, I love this guy because he said what every fan said. I still say it to this day. All those incidents were all penalties, and how they didn't get a penalty against Everton, I don't care what anyone said. VAR.
Corruption.
My backside. That was corruption at its best. I just loved him from saying it, and the fact that he's banned Neville and he tried to ban Neville and
he banned him.
Yeah, he's my hero because someone's got to be able to say my club. No airs and graces. I just loved him, and I think he's my hero.
He also got done for spitting on the ref when he claimed that he had a lot of phlegm because of his cigar. he was like. His case was, the ref walked past and just at that moment he phlegmed up from having like 2 cigars in the match and spat in the direction accidentally of the ref. So he does what he wants. That's what I love.
That guy, man, he's nuts, bro. Are you like I'll keep saying you're gonna stay up. Are you confident you're staying up? Yeah. West Ham are gonna go down.
Arsenal at 10 p.m. tonight, mate.
You'll beat Wolves, surely, man. Mind you, we got them in a couple of games at that time. We got to beat them as well. We only just beat them at home.
I just look at it. Look, we've got Wolves, we've got Burnley still. You look at that, you think that's got to be 6 points. We've still got Spurs. You say that's 9 points. 9 points from where we are. That's 35. That should be. Those 3 games are enough, and the odd draw here and there. But yeah, apparently, if we don't win tonight, Daesh is gone. So I win either way tonight, boys. I win either way.
I tell you, you're winning with that badge, isn't it? With the 2 stars over it. You had to make sure that you came on his podcast and like illuminated those 2 stars.
Always there, mate. It's always there. Yeah. I wasn't even born, but that's the thing. It outlives us all.
No wonder he's calm. He can go to bed and sleep at night and say, my team, even though I weren't born, at least I know that my team won 2 European Cups. Whatever you say about it. And
Back to back as well, Kenny. Back to back.
was that?
I'm still hurting from the Barcelona final. I'm still hurting from that.
Next thing you're going to say, Oggy, that the European Cup's more important than the league. You want it more.
Well, it's in the order of priority of 2, isn't it? Got to win that league first.
Would you take the league over the Champions League?
100%.
I wouldn't, but Kenny would.
100%.
Kenny wants the league. I want the champs. Kenny wants the league.
Can't be
Kenny, you've won the league. You've won the league.
Yeah, but we haven't won it for 22 years.
You've never had that feeling at those big ears. You know what I'm saying?
Just rub it in a little bit. Let's rub it in
that's why, yeah, but I'm not rubbing it in. I'm saying surely that monkey's got to be taken off the Arsenal back.
Level, I understand that, Arsenal fans want your nights in Munich and in Madrid, and obviously they want what Liverpool have had, and Chelsea have had, which hurts us all, of course. Man City, Celtic, all those teams have won the Champions League. We get it, but for me, the thought of the Champions League is abysmal. It's actually obscene. How can the team that finished 4th in their league call themselves the best team in Europe? It's a farce. It's a Super Cup. Whilst if you win the league, you're the best. There's no dispute. You've had 38 disciplines. You've had a ton of North London derbies. You've had to go Old Trafford, Etihad, Goodison Park, the old Goodison Park. You have to go Anfield. You go to hard grounds and you've won the title. That's the biggest achievement, and it's 10 times the achievement of the Champions League.
Yeah,
as I said, the Champions League, right? I look at the Champions League because I was on League Gunner show. The Champions League is like Angel Delight with jelly, whilst the league is your main course. Whatever main course you go like, maybe a big, 10-ounce steak with some, some posh potatoes with some veggies. That's your bread and butter. I love Angel Delight and I love jelly, but I want the main course first, which is the league.
Yeah.
Do you not think, though, Ken, that we can just shut Chelsea and City up because that's all they've got over us? Where's your European Cup? That's all they can say. We can just shove it in their face.
It will hurt them more if we win the league because it'll just shut. They'll just shut themselves down because they expect us to come away with nothing and basically choke at the last hurdle and flop like we've done previously.
Yeah, but Kenny, if you win the league and one of those two wins the Champions League, they will claim they had a better season than you.
Oh yeah,
that's how big the Champions League is.
Yeah, they're bound to. But the fact is that your achievement of winning the Champions League was the best because you won it when it was a proper knockout stage. You won your league in 1978, and you went and won the Champions League in 79. You retained. You won the Champions League, and then you went into competition as the champions, and then you won it. No arse protection of like four easy games in the group stages and an easy game
and we got Liverpool in the first round.
Liverpool in the first round you beat, and then you think about all the teams you beat the best of the best. That's the Champions League. As I said, don't call it the Champions League because the champions of their countries don't necessarily win the competition.
Yeah. Kenny, if you win it, I want you to remember you said this, mate, and let's see how shameless you're going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Clip me up. I would never change my stance. The Champions League
Butterscotch Angel Delight. Big up to Chills. Butterscotch Angel Delight. Never knock it.
Yeah.
Never knock it.
Can I just put my 2 pence worth in? I totally agree with what Kenny said about it was the Champions Cup, wasn't it? Before it wasn't a league; it was a Champions Cup. You won your championship in your country, and then you went into Europe, which was bloody hard to do. All knockout games, no league, no jeopardy in every game. You can go out in every single game. And Aston Villa did it, Liverpool did it, and these modern teams have done it. Haven't had to necessarily win their championship to win it. I know United have, City have, Chelsea have done that, but you don't necessarily have to win your league to be the champions of Europe, which I think is just crazy. It's just a Super League in another guise, isn't it? That's all it is. Of
course it is.
Yeah, the Champions Cup was the real European Cup. This is completely different to me. That has got more of a badge of honour to it to me than the current thing. I think they should be separated. I think it takes a lot more to win the Champions Cup than the Champions League, in my opinion.
I always said as well that if you're going into the Champions League, you need to really be a champion of something. Like like we're getting Villa and Spurs and all that because they come 5th in the league coming into the Champions League. I just think it's a bit too much now, really. Like even if they changed it so that if you won the League Cup and the FA Cup, you get Champions League, that would at least make those two trophies what they should be. Like the sentimental value they have is all they've got left. Like no one wants them now. Everyone calls them dusty cups. If you said if you win that, you get Champions League. Because if you win that Carabao Cup, you get put in the Conference League now. You don't even get Europa League yet. And the FA Cup, you get Europa League. If you change that so you win those two competitions, you get Champions League, people would take them much more seriously, man. They wouldn't be playing their kids out for it, reserves out for it.
First and second in the league get automatic.
There you go. First and second get Champions League. And then, that's what I think it is, man. But Wolfie, just quickly, bruv, before you go, obviously you're a big Arsenal fan. We've even got you on an Arsenal panel now, bro, which is amazing.
My boy is an Arsenal fan, so I do have a soft spot.
You're halfway there, man. You need a coffee cup now with an Arsenal badge on it. You'll be sorted, bro.
Let's go too far.
No, look, seriously, what are you saying for Arsenal now, man? Because I know I get you on these Monday night shows and the Thursday night shows, and you're still not sure. You're still not 100% convinced. You said Man City would win it right from the start. Are you sticking with Man City, bro? Would you think Arsenal will be all right this time around, 6 points clear?
This week's a big week, isn't it? I mean, Man City can cut it to 3, but you can put it back up to 6 or whatever it is because you're playing twice before. They
put it up to 9. If we play Brentford and Wolves, we could put it up to 9.
Sorry, 9, yeah. So that's what you guys need to focus on. I don't think the noise of this week will matter. Let's assume Man City. They got Fulham, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going to win
at home. So I don't think anything changes until you've played your 2 games. I think Brentford's a tough game. Going away to Brentford, I had them to go down this season.
Same.
And they've surprised everyone. That's going to be a tough game. If you can get through that, you're a bit closer. But I just don't have faith in this manager of yours, boys. I just feel we're now about to go into the business end of the season. I would have liked to have seen you with a bigger points gap. I think you should be on a bigger points gap. Let's be real, Man City have been extremely inconsistent all year, yet they're sitting there 2 games behind you. And what is it? 6, isn't it? 6.
Yeah.
6 points. I think they're looking at it as 3 points because they have to beat you when you go to the Etihad. So you've got to try and get that gap as big as possible. I think you need going into that game. 6 points has to be intact going into that game, and then you can get yourselves over the line. But I just don't trust Arteta. I just think as the games start to pile up, as you start to get to the quarters, etc., of the Champions League, FA Cups, you got the final of the Carabao Cup. Is he going to get the right squad for the right games? Or is he going to over-rotate? Or is he just going to do something stupid? That's my worry for you guys. Not the players, it's the manager. I think City still get it over the line. I think you win the FA Cup. I had you down for the FA Cup at the start of the season. And that'll be enough for Potts. Potts just wants anything, don't you, Potts?
I'm starving over here, bruv. I'm starving. Trophy, man. I'm just starving. I did say, though, that I would absolutely sack him if he only won the Carabao Cup now, because you can't go 6-7 points clear. Like I said before, that if he went to their last on the wire and it was close all the way and it weren't, you don't really know, it was City top, then Arsenal top, City top, Arsenal top, and we got the Carabao Cup and he missed out on goal difference or a point, then I'd probably keep him because he won the cup. But now you can't go 7 points clear again and then mess it up. Like, you can't do that for me. So even it'd have to take a Champions League win now if he doesn't win the league to keep him, in my opinion. So yeah, but look, we win it.
I would love for this season to be beautiful if you guys did the major double and Spurs went down and we won the Europa League. Oh my God, what a
that'd be the best, man.
The only thing missing would be United getting relegated.
Oh, I can't stand them, man. They were so annoying last night as well. It's just I just knew it was coming. I was just sat there and knew it was coming. And I knew it'd be that Sesko as well. That was quality goal, by the way. Fair play to him. They weren't even that great, man. They weren't even that good. You know what I mean? This is the thing.
Spurs. Again,
and that poor guy has got to wait another 5 games to get his hair cut now.
You know he's
Poor kid.
loving it, man. Like the moment he cut his hair, he was done. It was like,
Yeah, he's now like, oh, well, what a shame. I've now got to go and do every day again.
exactly.
Nah,
But
you're
yeah,
right.
I got to jump off, boys. But
Yeah,
it's
no,
great
big
to
up
meet
to you,
you two. I think first time we streamed together. So good luck and
Nice to meet you, Wolfie.
yeah,
I
you too.
watch your wind-ups quite a lot. I don't know why they fall for it. They
Mate,
always fall for it.
Kenny, I just speak the truth. I told all the Spurs lot I was on your show, Potts, at the start of the season. By February, he'll be gone. We're in February.
You know what? I think you wind people up because you have that smile and you're so calm and soothing voice that it's relaxing me the way you talk. And I think that's what gets them down is that they can't actually hate on you because you say you're not confrontational. You lower your voice. And you're like, sleep. And then point up.
And then the punchline comes. And then the punchline.
Exactly.
And then a little backhand. All I do is I just hold the mirror up and show them their club, and they don't like what they see back in the reflection.
Wait,
Right?
I knew this would happen though, Wolfie. Before you go, Forrest should go for Frank. That's his level. I knew this was coming. Big up to you, Dominic. But I knew this was coming, man. Can you imagine if you go for Frank if you sack Dyche? Oh my god,
Bro, I've said all along. There's only 2, maybe 3 managers I would not take to replace Dyche, and Frank is number 1. No, thank you very much. No, thank you. No.
Fair play, bro. Listen, man, you're a legend. Thanks for jumping on, man. Big
I'll
up to
catch
you.
you. All the best. Bye.
Legend, man. Make sure you're following Wolfie, people. Forest Fan TV. He's a legend. He's always on the channel. Everyone loves him. So go show him some love as well. Let me move it towards Brentford, Ross. What are you saying for this game? And what are you saying for the team? Like, if we go all out strong, we got obviously Wigan and Wolves coming up. What are you saying, bruv?
Yeah, I'll probably be starting with the same team that started against Sunderland. And my reason for that is Calafiori had a bit of a mare, and I think that's down to lack of minutes. So, when he came off and then Capio came on, we did look solid again. But I think that's just down to minutes. And I think in some of these games we do need him because of his creative, his inversion in his creation. Because I don't believe we will be under the pump. I believe we will have most of the ball. So it'll be down to us breaking them down. I was really impressed with Trossard's performance the weekend. I mean, he wasn't just stuck out on the chalk. He was in about 4 or 5 different positions during the game, caused them a lot of headaches. And as we've discussed before about Gyökeres, when Gyökeres came on, it pinned them back. Their creative ability just got squashed. And we then had them pinned in their own half for the remainder of that game, apart from a couple of little ventures out. I think he occupies 2 centre halves, and he makes it very difficult for him to play out. His pressing's good, and the falling finish, the one where he finished the first goal, that's a proper striker's goal for me. That's, you've got one chance, you're falling over, you've got to get your boot on it, and he put it in the corner, and that was a proper striker's finish for me. That was like a Van Nistelrooy type finish. You used to see him do that all the time. So yeah. The midfield, I think, should be kept the same because they say they're all going to be rested the weekend, aren't they? Majority of them. I wouldn't be tempted to drop any of them in there. I don't know what's happened to Odegaard, whether he's going to be fit or whether he's. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I've kept a tab on that, but Martinelli looked mustard when he came on. So I'd start with Jesus and hit him with the super sub thing. I think what I've seen over the last 2 games is I've seen us field teams out for the first 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and then we've gone and got the goal. I probably think it's going to be a bit cagey like that as well. We don't want to leave ourselves open to the counter because they're very good on the counter. Although I believe Sarday's suspended, is he?
He is.
He's suspended, so he's a big threat on the counter for them. And what other points can I bring up? The rest of it is self-explanatory. You don't want to break up a winning team. You want to rotate them at the end when the game's won. Not at the start. For me, I would start strong, do the same sort of things we did before, there are signs there, as I said, the Leeds game. I mean, everyone's saying, Leeds aren't match bottle. They still managed to nick a point at the bridge, didn't they? And Brentford, as you say, have been really, really good. Sunderland have been really, really good. And second half, we demolished them second half. I mean, once Victor came on, that game completely changed, and we were all over them in the second half. Much more like the old team we saw in the last 3 months of the season for the last 2 seasons. What Wolfie said about the manager, about him getting us over the line, he has doubts about him. He has proved in the last few years we have been able to put a run together in the last 3 months. He has proved that. I mean, could be valuable. I can see a few little signs that we're starting to click a little bit. And hopefully that carries on for the Brentford game. I'm going to be nervous. Obviously, I'm going to be nervous because what were they, 6th in the league? 6th, 7th? 7th. And they're only a couple of points off Champions League, aren't they? They've got how ironic would it be if they were to get in front of Liverpool for a spot in Europe, which could be, because they don't look good at all, do they? But difficult game tonight. They're going to be on it because they want to qualify for Europe. I would really respect their manager. He got a lot of grief at the beginning of the season. He was a decent player at Blackburn, weren't he? Was he at Blackburn? Yeah, he was at Blackburn. Decent player there. And he's got them playing really well. So big props to him, big respect. Yeah.
Yeah, he deserves a hell of a lot of credit, Keith Andrews. He's been unbelievable as set-piece coach. He's come in, everyone laughs, said Frank's gone, and Bumo's gone, Visser's gone, Norgard's gone, they're screwed, they're down. And I was one of those. I thought Brentford, I couldn't see a way back. They've been a massive overachievers alongside massively. I've been massively. Matter of respect from Igor Thiago has been fantastic. And they've actually had some real underrated players, Brentford, this season, because it isn't just a one-man team. So I've been a big sort of fan of what I've seen. Kenny, I wanted to put the team up that I would probably go with and then get your thoughts on this, right? So let me just bring up the team. This is what I think I would do. I don't know if he's going to do this. This is what I think I would do. And I'd love to get your thoughts on this, Kenny, and see what you guys would do. This is what I think I would do. And let me just talk through it very quickly before you come in, Ken, right? Raya in goal. I'm going with the back 4 of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori. I'm with Russ. I think Nkapie has been very, very good, actually. It's probably a bit harsh on him, but I do think we missed Calafiori. And although he was rusty, I'm just putting that down to not playing enough football. Rice and Zubimendi have to be in the middle. And I think at the moment, Kai Havertz has got the nod ahead of Eze and Ødegaard in that 10 role. So I just think we do look a little bit better with him in it. Never thought I'd say that, but that's where I'm at. And I don't want to see Noni Madueke, if I'm honest. I'm sorry. So he's on the right-hand side for me, Martinelli. I think he's done enough to start in this team. I understand what people say that he's a super sub, and it might be that he is. But right now, I think he deserves the nod to start on the right-hand side with Trossard's performance, as Russ said, on the left. And I've gone with Gyökeres over Jesus because I kind of get frustrated with Jesus. I like him as a great footballer, but when he goes through and he's offside all the time, he's driving me insane. So I think Gyökeres off the back of a brace has to start in this one. But what are you saying for that 11, Kenny?
Well, yeah, the back 4, you have to have, even though Cape's in better form and Calafiori's a bit rusty, you have to have your best, what I consider to be your best fullbacks in the team. Defence pits itself. Yeah, Zubimendi and Rice, 100%. Zubimendi is starting to play his best football for me in terms of.
I agree.
He's beginning to, get on the goals, score goals, but he's allowing Declan Rice to play his best football because he's slowly dictating the way we play. We don't really see much of it. We always look at the bigger names, but he's actually the one who dictates the way we play. He's a new, DM kind of DM is where the modern DM is someone who basically is good on the ball, doesn't just protect the back 4, but he actually sees the whole picture and said, right, he changes the tempo how we play. That's why I'm very pleased he's in. Havertz is an interesting one because he actually plays his best football as a false number 9. But the reason why we're trying him in that position is because for 2 reasons. One, Odegaard's not playing well, not good enough. And Eze has dropped the ball. He's not consistent enough. He's trying to learn on the job, just a bit like Zubimendi. But defensively, the manager sees him as a risk. So that's why Havertz has found himself a team. Because if Eze and Odegaard were doing their jobs properly, you may see Kai Havertz coming off the bench and challenging Jesus and Victor for a place up on the false number 9. So this is very much, don't get me wrong, we signed him as a midfielder, But so far, so good. But it's only been a couple of games. It's not as if he's had a whole season where he's been fantastic. So we need to watch that one because, teams are going to look at his strengths and weaknesses and said, right, we're going to target Kai. The right-hand side worries me because, as you know, I'm not a fan of Martinelli. I think the juice is run out of the car. The petrol's probably filled its tank with Martinelli, and that, as Russ says, he's much better coming off the bench. When he starts games, it leaves a lot to be desired. He doesn't beat his opponent, his direct opponent, and he spends more time sort of trying things that are not working for me. But off the bench, when defences are tired, that's when he plays his best football. And again, you have to look at that where he's best, because when he starts games, there's a problem. Then he's not really a right-sided player, but we're playing him there because we don't trust Madueke. But the manager is going to play Madueke there.
Yeah,
he likes that inverted feel. Inverted wingers are very much the new sexy, and they have been for the last 15 years. So I don't see Martinelli starting, but there is a case for him to start because of his performance. But that's the problem. The same with Victor. When they start games, he's taking them off after 60 minutes. When was the last time Victor Gyökeres, when he started the game, lasted the full 90? I can't think of one. I've forgotten. It probably has happened, but I forgot. And then Martinelli as well, when he starts games, the first thing you're thinking, oh, bloody hell, not again. Why hasn't he beaten his man? So I see where you come from, but I think he will start Noni and give him a chance, because you think about it, we were praising Noni because of his performance against Leeds United. That was 2 league games ago. And now, and that's the thing with Noni, you've got to accept, with Noni, it's going to be 2 steps forward and double the steps back. He's that kind of player. He's like that at Chelsea.
Yeah.
He even within a football match, he can do something. You think, oh my, this is actually so beautiful to watch. And in the next instant, the cross goes out of play. He'll beat his man. He runs a ball. But that's Noni. You've got to put up with it, because at the end of the day, he does give us that kind of balance in the side. And I think if Martinelli plays on the right hand side, as well as he's playing, as well as we're trying to, give Victor a service, this isn't Victor's team. This is Saka's team. Victor has to fit in the way we play. And then Victor's another interesting one where he's in a good bit of form. Am I convinced about him? No, I'm not convinced. He doesn't convince me. I don't think he's good enough. And then he's another one where sometimes everyone sings the, Salt and Pepper song, like that really great rap song. And he does look like that kind of player. And then there's sometimes where he plays and I feel like, watching an episode of The Munsters and singing the Munsters theme tune. And there's times when he actually looks and plays like Herman Munster. So what we got is 2 players who flatter to deceive, but on their day they can do well. But at the end of the day, I do think that Victor will start, but I'm not convinced Victor will finish the game. And that is my big problem, Victor, is that you want your main man to play 90 minutes. If he's not playing 90 minutes, then there's something wrong. Either he's run himself into the ground and he's worked his nuts off, or he's not doing it. That's my concern with Victor. I'm not convinced he's good enough to play for this football club. But when someone's in a rich playing form, you play them. They're scoring goals, they're playing because confidence, breeds confidence. Look at it. A confident player doesn't play with no confidence, doesn't score the goal he scored this on Saturday, where he's off balance, but he still manages to get power and put it in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
So you play him on that basis.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you saying, Russ, about that team?
I'm the same as Kenny with Martinelli. I think he's much better coming off the bench. Trossard away from home. I like Noni Madueke. I'll tell you why I like Noni Madueke, because he beats nearly every fullback he's up against. The big problem with him is his end product. The crossing sometimes woeful. His set piece delivery is really good as well from his corners. It's really good. I mean, from a static ball, he's really good. It's just when the ball's moving, he tends to overcook it sometimes. But he's still a young player. I think that can be improved on. Havertz, what you said about Havertz, that's not Havertz's fault that Odegaard's been 5 4s out of 10. It's not Havertz's problem that Eze's dropped the ball. I think it's a question with Eze as well. He does chase back. He does cover defensively. He put a shift in against Chelsea, a magnificent shift in against Chelsea. But he just don't seem to trust him in the same way as he does Havertz. And that was always going to happen. As soon as Havertz got fit, he was going to find a place in the team for him. And Havertz has been all right. He's looked okay. I'll tell you what I like about Havertz is he's strong. He runs forward with the ball. He's not always looking to pass sideways. He's looking to break lines. That's what I like about Havertz. And I think that's improved the way we've been playing as well. I think it's opened the pitch up a bit more. We're not doing the horseshoe of doom as much as we were, which that drives me mental. I don't mind that horseshoe of doom when we're 3-0 up. We can do it all day long when we're 3-0 up. But when you try to get that opening goal, you've got to be more creative than that. You've got to be more. Teams are so well coached. You've got to be more aggressive and run with the ball more. Passing's good, but you've got to be able to have players that can run with the ball and open teams up. That's what we've been missing in the first part of the season. We've been very good passing, grinding teams down, and now's the business end of the season. As I said, I think I said before. Now teams are looking for points. They're not just looking to not lose. They're looking to get points because it's the business end of the season coming up. They know that a draw ain't enough. They've got to come and try and beat you, which is why Leeds came out to try and beat us and why Sunderland came to play, because they know to progress, they've got to get the 3 points, which has opened up the park a little bit more. I think Brentford will be cautious tonight because they might think it's a point is good enough, but I've got a feeling they might come and have a little go. They might fancy their chances a little. They might come and have a little go. We'll see. But all the other players I totally agree with. I think this manager's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. People will always have a whinge about certain things, but I think his team selections the last few games have been spot on, and his rotation and his substitutions have all been spot on. They've all helped improve the game. We've gone on and won the game. Odegaard coming on took us up another little notch when the game opened up, and we got another 2 goals. Just little things like that. Gyökeres coming on against Sunderland and then us pinning them back, managing the game better. Everything he's been doing has been. I can't criticise him. I was criticising him for the way we're starting games, but now I'm starting to look at it and I'm thinking that's the method. I think that is the method we're employing. We're trying to suss teams out, get control of the game, and then play our football, rather than just going for it and losing a goal and then we're chasing the game. No one wants to be chasing the game in this league. It's difficult. It's difficult as it is. You don't want to be chasing. Don't concede, win the game.
That's what we've got to do. That's what I've gone for. I've gone for a 1-0 to the Arsenal. I don't see this being 3s and 4s. I think they're a very good side, and I think they're going to keep it tight. And he scored quite a lot of penalties, Igor Thiago, which means that Brentford have won a lot of penalties through trickery and agility in their team. So we've got to be careful.
Sorry, Kane, but his battle, if you looked at Saliba, and obviously you don't want to be overcritical, but you have to be honest and analyse games. Saliba has not been the same player defensively since Anfield. When he shouldn't have played in the first place. He's still feeling injury. And, Brian Brobby gave him a working over, gave him a palicking. And if I meet with Thiago, I'm going to say, right, that's my man. Everyone says he's a world-class defender, but I'm going to give him a battle. Because if I win my duels, because, I think with Shada being out, they're going to play with Tara. So it's a case of him winning his roles and Ritara getting a little bits. But Gabriel Magalhaes is going to be very important, especially from their set pieces, especially the long right throws. That's where Brentford's speciality is. Yeah. He's changed the way he's slightly tweaked it with Thomas Frank. Ethan Pinnock, great story, non-league, went to the top of the mountain, but he's tapped on the shoulder and says, you haven't got that bit of pace. He's actually changed the defence. Rico Henry's come back from injury as well, so he's going to be very important, with Madueke or Martinelli. But it's the engine, Jordan Henderson, he's basically their brain on the pitch. That's going to be a very interesting battle. But what Brentford are going to do, as you said, thing. What Arsenal need to watch out for is that, yes, they're going to be controlled. Yes, they're going to be organised. It's when they get the bodies forward, when they're in attack. They're not just going to just do what certain teams do and just not get the bodies forward. What Arsenal have been susceptible from, since the Sunderland game, is when teams get their bodies forward and make individual battles with their back four. That's where we struggle. I think West Brentford's looking to do. Another thing as well, they keep the ball really well. And I think where Arsenal had problems, although they played Leeds and obviously they played Sunderland, when teams do keep possession and they are organised and there is a bit of physical battle, that's where I think we do struggle. I think Brentford are going to want to replicate that kind of football, i.e. in that respect. And that's where we've got to be very careful, because we don't want to be in a situation where we rely on set pieces. But I think it will be a set piece game, because Brentford, I think, will be tidy in possession and they will get body forward if such, and they'll be organised. But yeah, they're physical. They'll be very physical. They'll relish the battle.
I've gone 1-0. Kenny last night said 2-1. Russ, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm erring on the side of caution, 1-0, maybe 2-1. Yeah, to us, hopefully. It's not a gimme. It's not a gimme.
Let me ask this question before we close, and I do need to go because I've got a meeting. But I asked this last night. Can't remember what Kenny said, actually. I don't know if Kenny got a chance. How many points can Arsenal afford to drop this season? Now, if we win all of our games, we end up on 95 points, which would be an unbelievable season, right? I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we'll drop points. I think we can probably look at dropping 3 games, if I'm honest. If one of those is Man City, it needs to be a draw, not a loss, because obviously we can't lose to them. We need to go out and beat them, in my opinion. But if we do draw, it wouldn't be the end of the world, so we can gain on us. But if we do that, then I think we can only drop in another 2 games, because I think that's what City have got to be realistic about their fixtures as well. So I think 3 games. What are you boys saying?
Yeah, I'm thinking probably 5 or 6 points is most we can drop.
Okay.
So the thing with me, obviously, in an ideal world, we have to be immaculate. If we're immaculate, we're in the league. But this league has got so much integrity, regardless of what people say. The gap between the top 6 and the rest is minimal. And teams that have fallen, there's a couple of teams that have fallen out of the top 6 due to poor performance, and they've been replaced by other teams. So that makes it doubly difficult. Everyone can beat everyone. So I'm going to say it'd be controversial and boring and say this is going down the wire. I think there's a situation that it's not because of sort of like the scars we have in terms of like how we've been in the last 3 or 4 years. It's just that it's this league. We've got so many London derbies, guys.
Yeah, that's a massive problem.
And they're away as well. I mean, tomorrow is going to be rock hard. Spurs, regardless of what you say, they're a wounded animal. Yeah, it can go 2 ways. We can win 5-0, or they could do something so outlandish and so fluky and so annoying where they could get a point or fluke a win, and it'll be their cup final. They've halted Arsenal's charge to the league. And then you've got West Ham. You think they're relegated, Dan? Mathematically, they won't be, in my opinion, when we play them. And then you've got Crystal Palace, last game of the season. No London side is going to want to help Arsenal win the league.
No.
I don't want this going to the last game of the season, because I don't like that Selhurst Park as it goes anyway. But
the consolation prize is that Aston Villa are going to the Etihad last game of the season.
Yeah, but we remember that last time when they went, Liverpool were about 2 games from doing a quadruple, and they turned it around and won the league when they had met Aston Villa, I remember. So, look, I personally do feel like it's going to go to the wire, but I'd like to think that when we play Burnley at home, that's the day that we win and lift the trophy. That's what I'm praying. I can't have this go last game of the season. I won't last. I think
go to the wire. I would have got the wire to be about 3 games before the end.
Look, I think deep. We know our team. We know there's a few banana skins, but even at the Emirates Stadium, there's always going to be a team that's going to have the game of their life. And I still think that Arsenal will drop points. Man City are definitely going to drop points, but it's how many they drop. We could win this league early, because regardless of whether we drop points or not, Man City keep on dropping points. They're going to run out of games. That's what we're praying that happens. But
Mm.
we're not playing beautiful football. We're not, wowing people. We're not, keeping people awake at night with the way we play. But we're doing it our way. And I think when you win the title the first time, obviously, maybe if you want to sort of retain the title or win it, like we do every other year, I think you start to play a bit more football, a bit more panache when you know how to win the league. But right now, it's a grind, and we're grinding this title.
Let's hope we're grinding. We get it across in May. But listen, we've got to wrap up there, people. Do me a favor, hit like and hit subscribe. Make sure that you're following okjersey.com. Make sure that you've got your shirt, whether it's retro Arsenal or for the World Cup. You can get anybody on the back of it and any number on the back of it as well that you want. I'm going to send you over to Sava at Football Heritage TV, who's talking about Frank with the Spurs lot. Just do me a favor, say Dan Potts raid, and then put hashtag Levy out in massive capital letters, because obviously Daniel Levy has to leave. Right, and I know he went 5 months ago, but he was clearly the problem, right? So let's get Levy out. That will wind them up. Big up to Russ for coming on. Big up to Kenny for coming on. Chris should be back next week. Thank you both. And look, we'll see you next time, people. Hopefully we get 3 points at Brentford.
See you, guys. And thanks, Chris, for letting me take your place, but I'll be watching you next week.
Big up, Kenny. You're always welcome. You know that. Big up, people.